Would you build a human body and connect the nervous system last? At ACE, we advocate for SCADA planning to begin in the concept and initial phase of your project planning and development, and not at the tail end of the construction. And there are very practical reasons for this. If something goes wrong on your BESS site at 2 o'clock in the morning, who's watching? What system is here to detect it? Raise the alarm and take action before a minor thermal event turns into a front page headline. The answer, of course, is your SCADA system. And the problem is, too often, it's the last thing that gets planned and the last thing that gets commissioned. G'day, I'm Zhao, Director at Australian Control Engineering, ACE. We specialize in the SCADA systems, control engineering, and the grid connection solutions for renewable energy sector across Australia. Today, I want to talk about something that is been on my mind and on the minds of lots of people in our industry. Following recent battery fire incidents at the large-scale battery facilities in Australia. Now, I'm not here to create fear. Battery energy storage is a safe technology and when it's done right. Let me give you a real-world example. During the Victoria Big Battery Fire in 2021, 450 megawatt-hour battery installation, the investigation reveals that something critical about the role of SCADA, a coolant leak in one of the battery units, triggered a thermal runaway event. That in itself is a known risk that can be managed. But here's what made it worse. The battery unit has been placed into offline mode during initial testing. And when that happens, the SCADA system stopped communicating with their battery container. The telemetry went dark and the cooling system shut down. The battery protection system, including the high voltage controller that could have disconnected the battery container, all went offline. The operators in control room, they received no alarms because the SCADA wasn't commissioned at that time to keep monitoring that battery container. The fire destroyed 2 battery containers and took a month to fully recover. The investigation led to specific correction actions. And right on top of the list was modifying the SCADA system to map every unit, every hour, every minute, regardless of its operational state. Now, think about that. A SCADA configuration gap contributed to what became a high-profile BESS fire in Australian history. Then this happened on site, and that had something of the best engineering minds and the best technology in the world. Here's the pattern I've seen across the industry. I've seen it in project after project. SCADA typically represents about 1 to 2% of the total project value, and it's often get treated as a line item and can be sorted out toward the end of the construction phase. But here's reality. Your SCADA system is the central nervous system of the entire plant, and it's a system that connects to your battery management systems, your power conversion systems, your fire detection and the compression panels, and your site security, your environmental monitoring systems, all of it into a single pane of glass. And beyond the site is also your connection to network service providers and to the AEMOs for energy dispatch. Without SCADA, your BESS cannot participate in NAM or WAM. AEMO requires real-time telemetry, SCADA data stamped every 5 minutes at least to dispatch your asset, to monitor conformance and to maintain grid security. No SCADA connection, no dispatch, no revenue. So let me ask the question differently. Would you build a human body and connect the nervous system at last? At ACE, we advocate for SCADA planning to begin in the concept and initial phase of your project planning and development, and not at the tail end of the construction. And There are very practical reasons for this. First, your SCADA architecture determines your alarm philosophies, and it gets monitored. What threshold triggers alerts and what automated responses get programmed. In a BESS, that means defining what temperatures, at what voltage deviation, at what rate of change, the system raises an alarm, isolates a rack, activates suppression, or trip the entire plant. These decisions need engineering time. They need collaboration with the battery OEMs, EPCs, and the fire safety consultants, and the NSP and AEMO. That doesn't happen in the 2-week sprint at the end of the projects. Secondly, your SCADA design drives your communications interface. RTU placement, fiber routing, radio networks, cellular backups, cybersecurity architecture, all of this needs to be planned alongside of the civil electrical design, not retrofitted. Third, and this is where a lot of projects get caught out, the connection to the NSP and an AEMO. It has its own timelines. AEMO SCADA connection requirements involved eligibility assessment, configuration, and testing. If you haven't factored these lead time into your project schedule and you are looking at commission delays on a BESS project, that means millions in lost revenue with missed dispatch windows. Now, let me bring this back to safety, because that's ultimately what this is about. Australia's BESS fleet has grown enormously. We went from about 2 gigawatts operational capacity at the start of the 2025 to well over 4.5 gigawatts by the end of the year, with another 3+ gigawatts in commissioning. This growth is incredible and essential for our energy transition, but it also means that we have more lithium-ion energy storage sitting on our grid than ever before. SCADA is a central part of that improvement. Real-time monitoring of cell voltage, temperature, and state of charge, gas detections, cooling systems performance, and these are not nice to have. They are the eyes and ears of the plant. Fire and Rescue New South Wales has specifically highlighted the need for active BMS monitoring and communication strategies, even during the pre-commissioning, when battery containers are sitting on site before the final safety systems are in place. So here's my message to anyone developing, construction, or investing in a BESS project in Australia. Don't treat SCADA as an afterthought. It's a small part of your budget, but it protects 100% of your assets. It's what keeps your people safe, your batteries monitored, your alarms active, and your plant connected to the grid and generating revenue. Start the SCADA conversation early. Engage your SCADA engineers during the design, not during commissioning. Define your alarm philosophies before the battery arrives on site, and make sure your connection to NSP and AEMO is on the critical path of your project schedule. At ACE, this is what we do. We are a grid-connected BESS SCADA specialist. We work with the developers, EPCs, and asset owners to develop safe, well-executed, and capital-efficient SCADA solutions, from concept through to commissioning and beyond. If you'd like to have a conversation about your projects, reach out. I'm Zhao, and you can find out more about us at acectrl.com. Thank you for watching.